Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Spooky Sunday video. In today's video we're going to be reacting to haunted house TikToks. I don't know what I'm going to name this video yet, but it's basically TikTokers who have lived in haunted houses or are living in haunted houses, and they're either got proof of their experience or they're doing story times on their experiences. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to watch them and speak about them, start a discussion in the comments. So without further ado, let's get on into today's video and I hope you all like it. Okay, so the first one is kind of a mini series. There's 4 videos or 5 videos actually by the same girl. I don't know if we'll watch all 5 videos, but we'll watch the ones I think are the main ones that we need the pointers on and stuff.
Let me do a story time because I actually have quite a few interesting stories to tell. One of them is I live in the most haunted house in Ireland. It is called Sharon House, or known as Sharon Rectory, and it is in County Donegal. It's quite famous for its double murders. So my mum and dad bought it off a priest 23 years ago. The house was in complete ruins. They had to re-renovate the whole house. And obviously whenever they bought it, they didn't actually believe the stories that everyone was saying that it was haunted. Obviously because it's the unknown and not everyone really, is open-minded about the situation. Until one night, my mum and dad started to experience the hauntings. Firstly, it was my dad. He actually had seen Mrs. Waller, or famously known as the Blue Lady. This woman was murdered in the house. So my daddy woke my mummy up in the middle of the night and was like, "Do you see that woman standing at the bottom of the bed?" Mummy was like, "No, I don't see her. What are you on about?" And that's when the hauntings started to happen. And we were like, for fuck's sake, I'm going to have to do a part 2 on this. Also, my sister wrote a book on the experiences and the past history. It's called Sharon Rectory. Do check.
Okay, so that's the first video. First thing I want to say is that I absolutely love the Irish accent. Just everything about it. It's amazing. Second thing is the way they reacted is how I would probably react. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, now we got to deal with a ghost problem. Now we got bloody ghosts. Because humour kind of makes me feel better about a situation, so I would react in exactly the same way. The next 2 videos are house tour.
Part 1 of the house tour. So this is just quickly to look at the outside. I'll do a proper in-depth house tour of the outside of the house. But anyways, let's get started. So this is the front door, and then we're going into the big hall, and then we have over here on the left is the sitting room, or the Blue Lady room as we like to call it, and then the hall, and then this here is the library. Now this is across from those rooms. This is where Mrs. Waller had been shot. And then Reverend Hamilton, he was murdered on the patio door, which I'll show you that in a minute. So this is just called the library. We call it the library. This is the gun that was found in the shed walls. And now this is the sitting room, or the Blue Lady room, as you like to call it. My mommy likes to keep a load of porcelain dolls, which I really don't like. Those are my mother's. And then back out to the other hall. Now this here is going to be complicated. There's a sitting room over there, the dining room. Here we are going into the dining room, and that door on the other end, that will take you out to the other hall. So it's like a maze. This house really is like a maze, but you get used to it. It's very hard to show you because I only have a quick minute to show you. But anyways, we're out to the patio door now. This is where it's all in my sister's book. You can have a look at it properly, but I will do a story time on the actual murders of the house. Now this is the first floor. We're going up to the second floor, and then on up to these stairs here is the third floor, but it's not renovated yet. So now we're going into a different hall, and then on to here to your left, no, to your right, sorry, I'm dyslexic. And then this here door here just takes you back into the dining room, and then this is the kitchen, and this door, nothing too exciting to see here. So now we go back up this hall to go into the first big hall, and then this here hall with the stairs is down where the cellar is. So you go down the cellar stairs. This is where Reverend Hamilton hid from the United Irishmen, and they pulled him out and they dragged him out to the patio and brutally murdered him there on the patio step. Further on down, there used to be tunnels that went around the whole house underground, but those got bricked up because there is a young girl buried alive in the walls when she was murdered down here.
Okay, so that's part 1 and 2. They kind of cut off weird at the end, like she must have just run out of time and then it just cuts off. But if I lived in a house like that, I would deal with the ghosts. I'd be like, come on, let's be best mates for the rest of our lives, because I would not leave it. That library, can you imagine all the countryside? That house is a dream, an absolute dream of a house. So personally, if I lived in that house and there was ghosts, I'd chill with them for the rest of my life, because I wouldn't be leaving. Either I'm staying with you or you're leaving, because I'm not. Onto a more serious note, there was murders in the house, so that really would creep me out on a little bit. But to be fair, she does say that they are like 200-year-old murders. I think it would creep me out more if they were more recent. I know it really doesn't kind of make a difference, but the fact it was like 200 years earlier. I don't know, it kind of makes me feel a little bit less scared, but nonetheless, it's still creepy. Okay, so the last two videos are about the murders. I don't think I'm going to play them because they're quite long, but the first one, she basically says that there was a lady that was shot in one of the rooms and she died in a blue dress, so they call her the blue lady. And then there was a man that was pulled out of the basement and murdered on the patio, and then the little girl that was buried in the wall, she said, was assaulted by some other workers, and they found out that she was going to tell, so they cut her tongue off and then they buried her alive in the walls. So that's pretty much what the stories are, which is really grim and gruesome and a really dark history to such a beautiful house and such a beautiful place. Okay, so we're going to go on to some more videos now, and this is the next one.
So I've told you all that I live in a haunted old building, and I've told you about some of the entities we've experienced here. Well, I either have a new entity or one of the old ones is doing something different. And this one is a little annoying because it is in my bedroom. So this visitor is a shadow, and I've been experiencing it for a couple weeks, and it's usually around my dresser or over in this corner by the closet when I wake up. Likes that gun a lot. But the other day I forgot to turn my lamp on, and I was walking to my bed, and when I crossed the infamous bloodstains on the floor, a shadow, tall shadow, got right in my face 2 times very quickly, and it really kind of took my breath away. It was pretty startling. And this one is a little annoying because it's been waking me up a lot, so we might have to address that.
Why is there blood stains on the floor? I couldn't live somewhere where there was just blood stains on the floor, and I would also want to know where they came from and why they were there. And surely you can get rid of them, so I'm just wondering why he hasn't got rid of them. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but can you get rid of blood stains out of wood? If not, I would get carpet or paint it or something other than just chilling with some blood stains on the floor from someone. And the other thing is that gun real on the dresser? Obviously in the UK we're not allowed guns, so I don't know how you display guns, but is that real, just chilling on the dresser? But back to the actual point of the video, there's a ghost chilling, scaring him at night, appeared right in his face. The tears that would come out of my eyes would be never ending, and I would pack my bags and leave. Pack my bags and leave. Pack my bags and leave. No, I would, for real, I would be gone. Sayonara. Okay, let's watch the next one.
Okay, so I'm literally home alone. Listen to how loud and aggressive it is. That's why we're moving.
Alright, so when I first saw this, I had a feeling that maybe when he shouts a certain word, the person knocking on the door would run off. I thought it was a prank. And then when I saw no one was there, I was like, oh my god, it's real. But then I do have a theory, and you can let me know if it's a stupid theory or if you don't believe in this theory or whatever. What if, because there was another room that he didn't show, so what if there was a person in there, maybe they had a stick or something, and they were just in the room bent over like this, hitting the door with a stick. And then as he shouts a certain word, they quickly pull the stick back and hide back in that room, and he only videos the stairs. So that's my theory. It's either that or it's a real ghost, but I don't know, you have to let me know what you think. Alright, so here is the next one.
For those who don't know, I grew up in a haunted house, but I've never shared the story about how my parents saw it for the first time and still decided to buy it. And I would like to start this story by saying my parents are extremely white. So when they first pull up to this place, it is wrecked. It had been abandoned for a couple of years and kids just destroyed it. But they figured they could fix all these issues, and there was a lot of historical pieces left in it they could salvage, and it was so pretty! I'm sure you can kind of tell where this is going. Eventually, they made their way to the upstairs. The lady told them that there were extra rooms in the attic they could make into bedrooms, but they couldn't get up there. Do you want to know why? Somebody nailed the door shut and wrote, "Don't open, the dead live here." And of course my parents were shocked that there was still original crown molding on the walls. Fun fact, that was the only area of the house completely untouched by damage. They also found dozens of unalive animals that looked like victims of rituals. My mom also explained the vibe was eerie. But it had original carved doors still. They had to make an offer.
That one reminds me of all the horror films you ever watch about haunted houses. There's always something wrong, but the house is so pretty, so they still buy it and then they get haunted. It just reminds me of that so much. But I also like the comedy in it because it's funny, because I think I would kind of be like that. I really love old houses, and I would love one day to either buy a country house or a townhouse. Really love both, but like Georgian or maybe even Victorian, oldie worldy looking houses, I love them. I think I would kind of be the same, but if I saw a sign that said don't open the dead live here, I think that's where my love for old houses would stop. Maybe one day I can build my own house and I can build it to look old fashioned, but it's new, and then I won't have to worry about ghosts as much. Could be a plan. But yeah, I just like that one because it was kind of funny.
Ghost story time. So many of you guys know that I live in a Victorian house that is 162 years old. So it's old AF. So sometimes we experience things that were kind of like, let's pretend like that didn't happen. Like last night, I was laying in bed. I was on the verge of falling asleep, but not quite there. Like, I was still hearing stuff. My husband was laying next to me, and all of a sudden I just hear a man yell. Like, it literally was like, ah, and it freaked me out. So I jumped up and was like, what? What? And even my husband, who literally doesn't believe in any of that stuff, was like, what the hell was that? And maybe checked the cameras to make sure there wasn't anyone in the house. And there wasn't.
Okay, so again, another one with the old house. It's just such a shame because all the old houses are literally beautiful. Personally, I don't like how buildings are built these days. I think they just look boring and boxy. So it is a shame that all these older houses have like ghost stories, because I'm really scared of ghosts. Can you imagine just hearing a man scream inside your house? If it was outside the house, probably wouldn't even batter an eyelid. Well, I mean, you probably would batter an eyelid and be like, shall I call the police? Is someone hurt? But I mean, you wouldn't be as freaked out as you would if it was in your house. But yeah, that was kind of interesting.
I grew up in a haunted house part 6. I'm going to be telling you the story of the handprints. So the night before my family and I were set to move out of our old haunted house, my boyfriend at the time and I were taking a nap on my bed. I had my eyes closed, but he couldn't sleep, so he was staring up at the ceiling. And then he noticed something. He shook me awake and asked me why I had small, child-sized handprints all over my ceiling. Once I woke up, I turned on the light, and sure enough, there were dirty little child's handprints all over my ceiling. And my ceilings were 10 feet high. And I kid you not, it looked like some little kid was playing around in the dirt and then came and crawled all over my ceiling, leaving a bunch of little handprints. So up until this point, my boyfriend at the time did not believe me whenever I told him my house was haunted, because he hadn't experienced anything himself. But after seeing those creepy little demon child handprints, he couldn't deny it anymore. Seeing these little child handprints all over my ceiling really made me realize that whoever or whatever was haunting my house maybe is a child spirit. We have scribbling all over my dad's face, my dream of a little girl walking around with a syringe in her neck, and the child's handprints. I also have a few more stories that may add to this point, but you're gonna have to like and follow to see those.
Okay, so her TikTok has loads of different ghost stories about different things. So if you want to go and watch all those, just go over to her TikTok and then you can watch all the different ones where it has different events sort of thing, rather than doing like part 1, part 2, part 3, like a lot of people do. She just does mini story times, which I think is kind of cool. It was kind of like the ghost was giving her one last present to say goodbye because she was leaving, and putting like handprints all over the ceiling. I would literally cry. And imagine being that boyfriend, you just never believed anything and then it happened. Thank God she left the next day. I would be buzzing that I was leaving the next day. I'd be like, thank God I don't have to go through this anymore. Goodbye, sayonara, have a nice eternity even. Have a nice eternity. Have a nice eternity life. Have a nice afterlife. Afterlife is the word that I was looking for. That is all the videos that I have for you today. I hope you liked them. If you like this video, please remember to smash a massive thumbs up. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, I will see you all soon. Peace.